I distinctly remember a time when I started to feel this ache inside of me, like a persistent sense of emptiness and a feeling like something was missing. It was pacing up and down my back deck. I'm pretty sure I actually said this out loud. I said, "Who is this person living this life?" There was this split between who I was portraying out into the world, where I was happy, I had this great life, I had the perfect marriage, and then what I was feeling inside. My mind, always driven to solve a mystery and to quell those feelings inside of me, was focused on finding someone I could blame, and I blamed my husband. I believed he was the source of my unhappiness. If he would do this, if he would be this way, then I would be happier. On the darker days, I felt that it would be better if I was with a new man. I wanted so much more in my life. I wanted to be loved and accepted for who I was, not just what I did. I wanted to feel more fulfillment, inspiration, and passion. I was longing for more emotional depth. For a while, I did other things. I went out and I said, what if I go on more girls' nights, spa days, and volunteering? And I thought that maybe something would help, but nothing ever really did seem to get to the root cause of my discontent. I was experiencing this distress with no real answers or solutions. And then something happened in my life that was really profound, which was that I was working with a coach in a coach training program that I was in. He started to ask me a series of questions. He said, so you're telling me that if your husband was more romantic and said the right things, you would feel happy then? And I was like, no. And then he said, okay, if your husband went to an intensive coaching program and he came back more conscious and he was more self-aware, would you be happy then? And I was like, gosh, I'm checking in with myself, much to my surprise. No. He asked several more questions, and each time my answer was no, until I got it. And it really sunk in. At that moment, I realized that no matter what anyone else did, no matter how much I changed the outside circumstances of my life, I was not going to be satisfied. I realized in that moment that it was me that was the source of my discontent. It was me that didn't love and accept myself, because I never felt enough. Me that didn't feel validating of myself. Me that didn't appreciate myself. Me that lacked the emotional connection inside of myself that I was looking for with others. So it was such a huge awakening for me, because I really had never even considered that as a possibility. On the one hand, it was a disappointment. On the other hand, it was a massive sense of empowerment and liberation for me. I realized, holy crap, I'm not a victim of my circumstances. It's a pattern so many of us learned as children, which is to look to other people, circumstances, experiences, and stuff for validation, love, safety, and happiness. And we believe that the best thing to do when you're not happy, look for new friendships, new marriages, new jobs. Then the right people will come in and they'll validate us and they'll love us and they'll appreciate us the way that we deserve. And if I had not learned this lesson, I would have sought endlessly, hoping someday I would find what was missing out there. And then I would get to the end of my life only to discover that the external world was never going to give me the things that I needed. It was never going to fill that empty hole inside of me. So what was my work? My work was to fill that empty hole inside of myself, to reclaim all the fragments of myself that I had cut off in a desperate bid to win the love and approval of other people and to stay safe, to remove all my masks and stop pretending that I'm anyone that I'm not, to reconnect to the truth of who I am. And this, my friends, is the essence of our healing and awakening journey. We often hear about it in passing. You should do your inner child work, or you should love yourself more, or do some shadow integration work, or heal your trauma. But we so often just don't know how. We haven't been taught how, actually. And we need a step-by-step process. That is where the Whole Soul Way program comes in. This is where I teach a process that becomes a launching pad for self-discovery, personal growth, and spiritual awakening that we can carry throughout our entire lifetime, transforming the way we live, inviting deeper levels of fulfillment, inner peace, and joy. The more that you long for out in the world is actually a call from your soul, a call home to yourself. And that is the journey that I take women on. I would love to have you there.